Hi, everybody. So, hey, what I'm going to give to you today are the five top 2028 Democratic presidential candidates. I'm thinking positive. I'm thinking positive. I know we all know what's happening, but let's go forward. So, let's take a look at a few of our options. I'm happy to do another video on the other possible candidates, but let's start with these five right now. Hi, I'm Lori. I'm from Numerology with Lori. Thank you for joining me today. Please like and subscribe. It helps so much to make my channel grow. I really appreciate it. So let's start with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I really have to struggle. I struggle so much with that name. I'm going to show you just real quick. So if you guys have there, so Alexandria is at the top. The next one is Gavin Newsom. And the third one is Kamala. Kamala is also running. So my feeling was let's get her. So these are the top three. I only wrote three on this list so far so that you can see it. I do have another whiteboard with the other two. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, that would be great. Otherwise, I'm going to read and you can reference this again if you want to. So, whoops. Let's talk about Alexandria. So her life path is a five, which is I find super interesting. Um, I looked into the five a little bit. Well, I mean, I know a lot about the five. So the five is about freedom and it's about change, it's about adventure. And I'm thinking, how do those things fit into this? Well, we all know we want freedom. We want our freedoms. I'm not going to go any further there. We want change. We don't like what's happening right now. So we want change. And adventure, is it going to be an adventure to get it back? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But her birth date is 10/13/1989, and that's how I got her life path. I added all the numbers across and I got to a 32/5. So that's how we got that. So then in her name, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, which I looked it up online just to make sure that this was the name on her birth certificate. So fingers crossed that's correct. Um, Based on this alone, I'm sorry. Please accept. Okay. All right. So, I know what I wanted to say. She does not accept any Israel money. That's another plus in the column of who is going to be the top candidate. So we all know what's happening over in Israel. We all know what's happening with the people in Palestine. I'm not sure. I can't really say too much about that other than to know that I'm glad that Alexandria doesn't accept Israel money. So her soul number is a five, which matches her life path, and her destiny is a four, which allows for the hard work that's ahead of her. That's great. So we know she's going to have this concept of freedom and of change for us, for the American people. If she's being elected as a president, her concept of change is going to be what she thinks we want for her. Okay, that's what she'll campaign on. So we'll see that. But the four that's in place there means that she's going to work very hard. She's going to work very hard. She's going to get things done. And that's the most important thing. So, and that's her destiny number, which tells me that that's where she wants to end up as being a person that works hard. So I calculated this just to be certain. She'll be about 40 years old when if she is elected president. So 89. So yeah, that would be January of 19 or 2029 is when the Democratic president would be instated, go through the process. So yeah, that's very, very interesting. She would be about 40 years old. I think she would be the youngest so far, but she only beats JFK by a few years. He was also in his 40s. So I don't know. I don't know. Let's just see what happens. So her personality number is an 8, and this is how people see her. That's interesting, isn't it? Because the 8 is about power and control. So is she powerful? Is she controlled? Sometimes she is. I think she's developing a persona more so. She's been a young woman. She came into being a senator as a young woman. There's so much that she had to learn, so much diplomacy she needed to learn. But it's time for the young people, in my opinion. I'm not sure if y'all feel that same way. So financially, she's a sound person and she's got a good business sense, which is a positive thing for the personality number of an 8. Okay, that's as much as I'll say about that. Her maturity number is a 9, which tells me that she's letting go of what doesn't serve her. That's that's a positive thing. Now, again, that's happening as more and more as she gets older. I'm not sure where that actually starts for her, but I do like her as a candidate. I think that life path of 5 really gives her the freedom and the change that we all need. And the fact that she doesn't accept any backing of Israel money, that's positive. So the second candidate that I had on here is Gavin Christopher Newsom. So that's his name on his birth certificate. Oh boy, I'm getting some. So you can take a picture if you need to. Getting a few little glitches there. His birth date is 10/10/1967. So his life path is a 7. That's an interesting life path for a possible future president. Um, this number is significant. It's about analytical information. It's about research. Um, and it's this person is intelligent and he's wise. That's really important, isn't it? He's also very charming. So, not sure if that's good or bad because a person who is charming could, we have charming right now. Not, okay, that's exactly how the MAGA crew got accepted into their cult base because he charmed them into thinking it was okay. So, I mean, okay, so the 7s are a little bit on the charming side. Um, let's see, where are we? I wonder if he's the right person to elect. Yeah, that's in my mind as president in this moment. What do you think? I'd be really curious to hear what you think in the comments. So his soul number is karmic. It's a 14/5, and the 14/5 is about the temptations. The temptations can take any form. They can be women, they can be alcohol, it can be drugs, it can be anything that would be interpreted as a temptation if you have that as a karmic number. So again, that is his soul number, which is interesting. Now, does a person have the opportunity to work off their karma this period? Heck yeah, they do. And I saw a comment the other day by somebody, and I can't remember where I saw this, whether it was on somebody else's website. But how fair is it that people have karma in this lifetime when they don't even remember how they got the karma? That can be true. But if it's a lesson that you need to learn in this lifetime, or if it's a debt that you need to repay, it's better to know about it than to go your whole life and not know about it. So that's where getting a reading helps, maybe doing a tarot reading, doing a numerology reading, doing an astrology reading, anything that gives you the opportunity to know what's coming forward. So let's get back to Gavin. June and July, if you add the number to the letter, so J plus U plus N plus E is oh gosh, J is a one, U is a three, N is a five, and the E is a five. So when you add those together, same with July, you get a 14.5. Interesting, because to me, that tells me that June and July, especially this year of 2026 universal year, which is the 2026, if you add it across together, adds up to a true 10, which is an ending of karma. And I know we've talked about this before, but this is really important for anybody who might have these karmic numbers in their charts. So the 2026 adds up to a true 10, but it's also a one. So it's about new beginnings. It's about ending of karma. And the June and July aspect, I'd be really curious to see what Gavin does differently in June and July. That might make me change my mind about him. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence with Gavin. So let's see, we talked about all that. So another good sign is that he has a destiny number of a 20/2. So you add the two plus the zero and you get the two. And this is all about relationship orientation. That says a lot about his orientation, his desire to help another human being. I think one of the only troubles that I have with him is that I'm not sure about how he has said that well, of course, there is the notion that he supports Israel. Then he says he's not going to, but we don't really know. I mean, put your money where your mouth is if that's the case, because that's something I think American voters are going to want this year. We're going to want some changes there. And that's one of the main changes that I can see going forward. So let's see. Okay. So there's that. So now let's take a look at Kamala Harris. So let's see. Here she is down at the bottom. Okay. So Kamala Harris. So if you notice, I did look up her birth certificate name and it's Iyer, which is a very interesting middle name. And her birth date is 10/20/1964. Interesting how they all have October leaning birth dates. Alexandria was 10/13. Gavin Christopher Newsom was 10/10. And Kamala is 10/20/1964. So her life path is also a five. Again, I like this life path for the president we need right now. They're about freedom, they're about change. So, can you just imagine how much she would work at getting the freedoms that we'd lost? I mean, to be honest with you, she's actually talked about that. And I wasn't sure. I'm going to be perfectly candid here and tell you that I felt like Kamala's time had come and gone. That if she didn't win against Trump, which we're on the fence about that. We don't know if that really happened, if it was stolen from her or what. But that being the case, was her time there, or is it now? I don't know. As I've listened to her speak a little bit more and I'm looking at these numbers, I'm starting to think, well, maybe she does have what it takes to be our next president. I don't know. I don't know. I'd love to see what you guys think in the comments. So her soul number is a 9. Ooh, letting go of what doesn't serve you. That's really important. There's so much of what she's been through that she's letting go of. She's saying, no more. I'm really curious about the changes she'll make there. I really am. Ooh, I got chills just thinking about it. Um, Interesting that her personality number is a 7 and her destiny number is a 7. That is my only pause. It's not that okay, so as a personality number, this is how other people see her. They see her as being a wise woman, a person that thinks about what she says before she says it. She's an analytical person. She might be a researcher. Yeah, there's a lot about the seven that people can see in her. And the fact that she has her destiny number as a seven, could that be after the presidency or will that be during the presidency? And does it really make any difference? Like if you combine that five life path and the maturity number I'm going to talk about coming forward is a three. So meaning that she's going to be a good, oh gosh, I got chills again. She's a good communicator. She's a good she wants that joy in life for all of us. So she's got her constituents in mind. She most definitely does. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. So it makes me wonder, was I wrong about her? Is her time, it could have been last time and it might be this time. We don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. So, oh, and the last thing I'm going to say about her, and I feel like this would be need to be addressed for me if, and it would need to be done. She definitely has some Israel connections. I realize her husband is Jewish. That shouldn't make any difference. I have very good Jewish friends who don't believe in that way of in the way of life of a Zionist. They don't. So I'm curious to see what will happen um, if Kamala steps into the race. So I guess we'll see. Anyway, the next person on this list, and I'm going to get to this chart so that you can see, is Rohit Khanna. That's the name that I found for him. Oh, and Deborah, you can see the last person I did is Pete Buttigieg. I made sure he was on this list for you because we talked about this. But Ro Khanna, if you guys want to take a screenshot of this, feel free. I wonder if I can get that glare off of there. Ugh, maybe I'll put it in the middle so it doesn't interfere with anything. Feel free to take a screenshot. Okay, so Ro Khanna, his birthday is 9/13/1976. Interesting. He's a little bit younger too. Not a ton, but he's younger than me, so yeah, he's young. Um, so let me see if I can find this. So his life path is a nine. So all those numbers, the 9/13/1976, add up to 36, and the 3 + 6 = 9. That's his life path. I love this life path. Letting go of what doesn't serve you. He has been on the committee, the self-created with him and Thomas Massey as for the getting the Epstein files out, talking daily with the survivors, and I'm sorry, the E-files will say. Um, this is something that I feel like this tenacity in digging out the the possible transgressions, it seems like. Um, that tenacity is going to take him far, at least in my opinion, because I've been looking at him for a while as one of the 2028 presidential candidates. So, one of the things I like about his life path, or I'm sorry, another thing that I like about him is that his soul number is an eight, which is very interesting. I gotta say that, okay, let me see if I can find it. His personality number is a three. I'm going to jump back here for a second. The personality number is a three, makes him look as if he's just a very joyful person, which he is, joy of living, a good communicator. He seems to be a good communicator, but this soul number as an eight gives him that power, that powerful essence and the controlled viewpoint of things. He's got a handle on financial and business opportunities. So he would be a wonderful financial, I'm sorry, foreign adversary, not adversary, what's the right word? Foreign person that's, yeah, whatever they do. But yeah, how wonderful is that? I think that that eight would give him some really makes him tough. Again, we talked about the tenacity he had in this committee that he was in. And personality, people see him as a good communicator, someone who enjoys life and wants that for us, which I think is really important. His destiny is an 11-2. So this can be a master number if it's worked in that way. So this is about spiritual creativity. Interesting. And I think that when it gets to be too much for him, which I think a master number can get to be too much for a person at times, he can work the two, which is very important because the two is about relationships, relationships with his constituents, us, you know, and that's going to be an important part for him to carry. It's not that the 11 isn't also a possibility, and it's not that it's not important, because if he can be creative spiritually and give us the things that we need to bring back our social construct, mm, mm, that means a lot. Let me see where I am with this speech. Okay. Oh, and the same thing for his maturity number, which I think is also very interesting. So which is good because in a way, if he's using that 11-2 either as the master number or as a two, either way, he is either the maturity number or what did I say the other one was? The destiny number, right? Destiny is 11-2 and the maturity number. So if he's working that 11-2, it doesn't matter. During the presidency, we need both the 11 energy and the 2 energy. The 11 energy because we need somebody to be spiritually creative, and the 2 energy because we need that relationship back. We need to trust our government again. Oh, lordy, lordy, do I have the chills. So the last person that I wanted to talk about was Pete Buttigieg, and let me just show you his information. He surprised me. So his name on his birth certificate is actually Peter Paul Montgomery Buttigieg. Interesting, isn't it? You don't often see four numbers. And I actually looked it up to see if Peter Paul, because Peter is actually the first name. So I looked it up on Google. I don't really use Chat GPT very much because I feel like the numbers or the information is a little skewed. So I checked with Google and just to see if his first name was actually Peter Paul was actually the first name. But it was a little confusing because it said, yes, it's his first name, but it acts as his middle name. And I'm like, okay, so what's Montgomery? Anyway, so I'm not really sure, except for the fact that I was able to calculate information and that's what counts. So his birthday is 1/19, 1980, 82. 82. It looks like a six to me backwards, but I don't think you guys are seeing it like that. So, interesting. So when I add all these numbers together, the 1 and the 19, the 1982, I got a 31-4. That's his life path. Okay. So I will say this. I have a lot of 31-4s in my life. They're all different types of people. I mean, and let's face it, anybody who has a life path number, it doesn't mean that they're all going to be alike. I mean, so one thing that's interesting about Pete Buttigieg is he experienced his new beginning, and his new beginning is running through 2026. He started in January. That's when I started to notice a big change in him. It's not so much that he wasn't always this person, but he's got more leadership abilities, more. I don't know. I find him to be an interesting character, and I'd like to see more of Pete Buttigieg. And I hope he makes it into the debate stage because I feel like he could be really, really good. Yeah. Anyway, so I like this number, and I know many people, yes, that have this specific combination. His soul number is a master number, a 5510. And I'm going to be honest with you, there's only one other person I know of, and I know a lot of people that has a 55, and I've been looking for them because you don't often see 55 show up. I have a child in my life that belongs to me, my child, who has a 55 as her life path number. I find this fascinating. One of the first things I did was the life path numbers for all my kids. So I'll be honest there. But I love the 5510. So it's a great number for allowing or needing courage and freedom and change. It is. It's great for that. The only problem I can see with it is that there's also the opposite. So because you have a 55, you get the 5 as being courageous about change and freedom, and then you get that 5 that says, not today. But that's actually not a bad thing. We all know that Pete Buttigieg has many talents. So on a day he's not feeling strong about freedom and change, he'll work on something else. And that's okay. We just need him to work. We need him to keep us in his mind. That's important. And because he's got that 31-4 as his life path, he's always going to be working for us. He's always going to be a worker. And let's face it, knowing that he's a rogue scholar, a Rhodes Scholar. Um, he served in Afghanistan. He served as the mayor, Mayor Pete. He was known in Indiana. And he was the Secretary of Transportation in the last administration. So we know he knows his stuff. He knows his way around the presidency and what's going on there. So yeah. Um, I want to say that the 55 is also spiritual insights and new patterns of thought. Wow. That, okay, I'm going to say that one more time so you get it. Spiritual insights and new patterns of thought. That's the part that gets me every time I read it. And I read it often because of my daughter, but I love it for somebody who is possibly running as president and as a Democrat for 2028. I don't know. Let's see. Um, his destiny number is a 14-5. So that's interesting. Again, we're talking that karma. Um, and it's about the temptations. So I don't see that in Pete, but I guess a person never knows. Now, it also, and it's very interesting to me that his soul number is a 55 1, because that 55, that number on the inside, we just talked about it, how it can have ramifications that aren't so positive. It can be a little bit scary. So my fear is he needs to know that that's a possibility with him. But again, and we talked about this, I think, with Gavin Newsom. He has a 14-5 in his core numbers. And the fact is that June and July are they both add up to 14-5. And this is a 2026. So 2026 is a new beginning year. It's an ending of karma year. Is that when it happens in June and July? I don't know. Let's see what happens with Gavin and with Pete. I mean, this could be big stuff. I really feel like we have a lot to look forward to in June and July. A lot. Okay, so again, June and July could be have a big impact on him. We talked about that in 2026. Okay, so his personality number is a 22-4, which I find really interesting because he's already got a 4 in his core numbers. We know his life path number is a 31-4. So this tells me that people see him as somebody with a master number 4 because it's about a master builder, a spiritual master builder. Is that something he can live up to? I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So, his maturity number is a 9, letting go of what doesn't serve him. I feel like he's doing that. I feel like he is really doing that. So, I couldn't really do anything further here. I mean, I can go individually into each of these people. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you would like that. And also, I'm going to do another video on 5 more people. So we're going to stick with this top 5 popular Democratic candidates for 2028. And there's so many people that are running. There's Andy Bashir. There's uh, what is his name? Oh, I don't have it with me. Hold on a second. I'll figure it out. John Ossoff, that's another good choice. Andy Bashir, we talked about him. J.B. Pritzker, that would be a good one. Mark Kelly, who could also be a good candidate. Ruben Gallardo, that's his name. That's his name. So I'm sure we can get another video of the other candidates. And again, if you want me to look individually into anybody, like let's say Kamala or Pete, or maybe Alexandria or Gavin, I mean, or Ro Khanna. So if we want to do an individual uh, video on each one of those, you just let me know. I'd be happy to. So in the meantime, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be with you today, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. Bye.